welcome to another video tutorial. Today I'm going to go over just some basics of the Design Space program that works with the Cricut Explore. First thing I want to tell you is if you have loaded your Cricut cartridges either to the Craft Room program or to Cricut.com, they will automatically be brought over to the Crafts or the Design Space software. The software is an online program, so you do have to have internet access to use it. But it is fabulous. I loved that the first time I logged in, I had all of my cartridges. You also get, when you first get your Cricut Explore, you also get 2 weeks free of the subscription plan. The subscription plan runs $9.99 or $9 or $9.99 or $9. I forget which one. Or $99, that's a month, or $99 a year. So it's a great program, so it gives you access if you don't have all the cartridges. There's other stuff that you can also do with the subscription, but it's great that if you don't have all of the cartridges, you would still have access to them, except for certain kinds, like the licensed kind, like the Disney and some of the retired cartridges. But I just wanted to do a quick overview for you of how to use the Design Space, and I'll get into more detail as I go along with different projects and stuff. But for now, I just thought I would do a quick overview. So you can either go to Cricut.com and click on Design Space, or you can just go to Cricut.com/design, and that'll take you right to this page right here. This is after you've already gotten your Cricut Explore set up. If you don't have your Cricut Explore but you want to play with this, you can certainly go to their website and download and play with the program. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing I want to show you are all of the DIY projects. These do cost money. Basically, everything's already set up for you. All you have to do is hit the Make It Now button, and everything will just be ready for you. If you should have all of the images already in either your subscription or your purchased cartridges, you won't have to pay for those again. But if you have images that you don't have, then it will require for you to pay for those images, as well as believe the price for the actual project. So these are all of the projects that they have. They have great projects. Some of them are so really cute. I love this pool party invitation, and there's even things for doing shirts and party hats and Father's Day cards. There's tons of stuff here. I just saw this here. I really want to try cutting leather on my Cricut, so one of these days I'm going to give that a try. Up here they do have a section right here where you can select your different categories. So if you were doing something for home decor, you can just hit home decor and it'll just filter it out and only show you things that are in the home decor. So I have lots of plans of things I want to try. I just saw this pillow here and I'm like, ooh, I really want to try to make a pillow. So let's go ahead and get started with creating your own project. Like I said, these projects, and I'll just pick this first one. Everything's already planned for you. See, I already subscribe, or because I am a subscriber, and this is also a free. There are free ones. The projects don't cost any money, but for example, this one tells you the 2 different images that you're going to need for this project, and then also gives you the list of materials and the instructions on what you need to do. And then you would just hit Make It Now. So since this is a free one, I'll just go ahead and hit that. So that takes you over to the Design Space, and you can see all of the layers, everything that you need to do for this particular project. It actually even brings up your cutting mat, so you could just go ahead and cut away. So it's really simple. It has everything is already done for you. I am not going to do this. I'm going to go back. We're going to go back to our home page here, and we're going to start creating a new project. So I'm just going to hit this little Create New Project, which is the little plus sign here. And it's going to take you over to what I call my Design Space. This is not your Cricut map, but your Design Space, and where you're going to be working with your images and stuff that you're going to be doing. So first thing I want to show you is it up in this little corner right here, right underneath where it says Cricut. It has this little gray box. If you click that box, it turns on the grid for you, so you can kind of get an idea of the size of images. Plus, there's also a layer called Edit that has the sizes of any particular image that you have selected. So I like to turn this on when I'm working with smaller projects, but for right now, we're just going to go ahead and turn it off. We're going to go right down the left-hand, or the left-hand side of the screen here. The first thing you have is your little login information. If you have an account, you would just go ahead and log in. The first tab is my account details. The second one is for linking your cartridge, and linking a cartridge looks fairly easy. Like I haven't tried this yet because I don't have any cartridges to link, but it says you can select a device. So I have the Bluetooth set up on my Cricut, so I would just select Bluetooth, insert my cartridge into my machine, and then link it, and it'll take you through all the steps. So it looks pretty easy. Like I said, I haven't tried this yet because right now I don't have any cartridges that I can link. You also have your firmware updates whenever they do updates to the program. Now, I've only had this program for a couple of days, and they've already done a firmware update since I got it for the print and cut feature, which is going to be coming out fairly shortly, or if you've already seen this video, it's already up. And then you have your log out option. Underneath here is your section to insert images. This first one here, it takes you right to the all of your images. So it has different categories and even has these little filters over here. And the filters you can actually change, pick what you want. If you want to do a 3D project, it's going to filter out those images and just give you things that are 3D projects. If you wanted to do something that was just borders, you're looking for a border, you can do that. They have cards and envelopes. So they have a lot of great little features over here in the filter section. Over on this side where it says all images, this is actually showing you all of the images that are currently available through either cartridges or the subscription. There's all image sets. That means these are the cartridges. These are anything that's available on cartridges. Now you can see some of them because I have the free 2-week trial for the subscription. I have access to cartridges I don't own. I also have my purchase cartridges. These are cartridges that I've purchased in the past. And then there's other cartridges you can buy for full price, and these are ones that I think are pretty much retired, or the licensed cartridges like the Disney and stuff like that. So there you have the option to buy those completely if you wanted to. But with the subscription, you do get access to several cartridges that if you don't own, but there's maybe 1 or 2 images you wanted to try, the $9.99 a month subscription plan is a good idea to try, which probably after mine runs out, I know I'm going to go ahead and subscribe every month. The next option we have are just my images. So, and it's going to show you all images that anybody's uploaded to share. So there's quite a few of them. This one right here is one that I actually was playing with the some of the different functions of the program. So I probably shouldn't have put that to share because it's not, it was just, I was playing with the pen set just to see how the pens and stuff worked. So, but anyway, anything that anybody's uploaded to share, these look like they would be things that you would be able to write with your pens. And there's tons of other different images and things that people have designed that they put on here to share with others. And then the very last one are my image sets. This filters out all of those things that I do not own. It's just things that I have either purchased or have access to with my subscription plan. So I'm going to go ahead into the Create a Critter. Well, actually, we'll skip that. We won't do that right yet. We're just going to keep going down here. Upload images. This is where you would upload anything that you have, an SVG file, a PNG, a JPEG, anything that you want to cut out. So you would just go ahead and upload images, which we will do in another video. I need to play with that a little bit more. The other option you have is to add a text. I think this is great. Let me just go ahead and add a text. And I love this feature. This is really cool. I've had a lot of fun playing with this already. So you can see on the side over here, it created a layers panel, and in that layers panel is where I have my creations with Christina. It just has the C there. If I wanted to do a shadow of that, it automatically figures out the shadow and gives you that option. And then it has an edit button or an edit layer here. And what that does is this is where you can actually go ahead and change your different fonts. So say I want to use Country Life. It would just go ahead and change it for you. And it also has all of your fonts that you have on your computer. If you wanted to use this for the write feature, well, I'll get into that section first, next. It has, you can make them bold, you can make them italic. So it has all of the options that you can play with here. And it also has where you can increase the fonts. Oops. You can also increase or decrease the spacing between the letters. So this is kind of a cursive font, and if I wanted this to cut out in one piece, I can just go ahead and decrease it, and it kind of starts bringing those letters together. If I was going to do this so that it was a two-layer or two-line option, it would then go ahead and add that other line. We'll go back to our edit. You can change the line spacing on this. So if I didn't want that Christina to be so far apart from the creations width, we can go ahead and adjust that as well. So I'm just going to take that out of there. There's also, under the edits, there's a section here for sizing. So if you wanted to make this bigger, you can, but you can always grab the little dots on each of the corners of the image and pull that and adjust the size. You can also rotate. And there's also this little dial right here. So if you just click one of those little buttons, it'll flip everything for you, so you don't have to use the little adjuster on that one. And then for this section right here, this is the position it's going to be on the screen. So if we wanted this to be at the 6-inch mark, we would just go ahead and type 6, and that would go ahead and move that over. All right, so that's all about the edit button in writing using the text option. Actually, let's go back into the edit button. There's one more thing I wanted to show you. Up here, you have a section where it says all fonts. You can select so that it's just my computer fonts. You could do Cricut fonts, single layer fonts, or fonts that has a handwriting, which means that these are things that you would want to use with your Cricut pens. Okay, so the next thing on our toolbar here is the set canvas. This is a great little section, has all these different types of canvas options. Things like if you were going to be making a card and you needed a template to help you work. If you were going to be making baby clothes, which I'm already thinking, oh, my niece is having a baby in January. I'm thinking, oh, so cute little things we're going to be able to make for her using some iron-on transfers. So one thing I make the most are cards, and I love that there is a card option because I like to see where I'm laying my images. So this gives me a template for a card. I normally do the 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 with the top open fold, but I'm still going to go ahead and use this template because it's still the same size, just that the fold is in a different spot. But it's a great way for me to figure out where I'm going to lay things out on my projects. So that set canvas is a really great feature. Okay, we're going to start going across the top here, the top functions. So the first thing we're going to look at is the file drop-down. This first image here is your projects. This will take you back to the DIY page. The other option is to start a new file. So this is a new project. You have open, which any projects, and for some reason I got kicked out. I know they are working on doing some updates to the program, and they did say there would be some times that it would get kicked out. So I have a couple things I've been working on. This love you a latte. I had a different idea of what I wanted to do, and actually went a whole different way when I did this card. But anyway, when I was working on it, I started it late at night, and I was going to work on cutting it and stuff the next day. So I saved it, and then I can just hit open, and it's going to go ahead and take me to my project. So there we go. And I'm not going to go over details about this project because it's going to be showing up on a blog post soon. So the next thing is, if you wanted to save your project as a different name, you would do Save As. There's also a Save button. So I'm going to go back to creating a new file or new project. And I'm going to add an image to my mat, and we're going to go over some of the different options there are. I'm just going to go ahead and click this little create a critter here, and what you do is, if you want to select it, you just hit the little check mark, and then you'll see it shows up on the bottom, and then insert image. So there we go, that's my image. And this is just, remember, your designing area. This is the section that you're going to use to change your image sizes, take out things that you don't want to. There's a hide contour feature. There's there's welding, there's all these different great things. And this program thinks for you, which is what I really like. One thing I did not like about the Cameo is when you downloaded an image or a project, it was trying to figure out what was what to that project. This actually does that for you. Over on the side here is your little layers section, and it breaks everything down for you. So you can see that there's an option even for doing a shadow. Right now it's the eyeball on the side here is turned off, and when it's on, you can see you'll have a shadow option for your project. Then you have your other section, which is the pink section. So these are all the things that are going to cut out in pink. Well, not cut out in pink, but it's the pink option or the pink layer. There's another layer for the heart, which is the black, which would be the back part, which is the eyes and the mouth. And then there's the actual darker pink heart, which is this outside part. So it broke everything down for me. I could go ahead and change the different colors to these projects. So if I was going to go ahead and cut this, and I knew that heart was going to be on maybe a green pattern paper, I could just go ahead and select green, and then I know when it's time to cut out that part of my project, that should be green. And you could do this with all the different images. If you know you're going to do different colors on each of the different parts, you can go ahead and select the colors that might go with your mat, or you could just leave it the way it is. Depends. Now that's not going to be a very cute looking project. I don't like those colors together, but you'd be able to at least tell what each thing is. Now it will cut everything out on its own mat. So for this particular project, you would need to have 4 different mats, but I will show you later how you can put them all together so they're on one mat. So let's go ahead and get into different, some more doings with this project. Say I stretched this out and decided, no, I really don't like that. There's an undo option. And there's also the redo option. You can also cut this and then paste it. There's also a copy and a paste, so that we have 2 of these if we wanted to. You can select all, so it's going to group them all together. And then if you took them and put them like this, and say you wanted that one in the back to be up front, there's this little button right here for arranging. Now the arranging will do a couple different things. Right now these images are 2 separate images, and they are grouped together as one. If I wanted to ungroup them, so we're going to pick this one. Now each of these parts are now separate. If I wanted to change the position of them, say I wanted the wings or something to come up. Whoops, I just hit the wrong button. I wanted to move those wings to the front. I would just hit that, and then it hides the green part that brings the wings to the front. I could also move them to the back. And, oops, didn't want to select all. There's also the option where you can move things by layer. So there's 3 different layers to this. There's the wings, there's the green, and then there's the blue. I can take these and arrange them slowly, piece by piece, to move back one section. So I just move that back behind the green, and then if I do it again, I should move it back one more time, and it should take it behind the blue, which it's not doing that. So we're just going to go ahead and move the blue to the front. So you can play with the images and how things are set up. I generally don't play with them unless I was really getting into any kind of detail on how I wanted things to go. Now, one thing I can tell you is that if you move things to the front, say I moved the wings all the way to the front, when I go to cut, the wings will be the first thing it cuts. So you think about that when you're doing a project where you want to cut something and write something. I played with that a little bit the other day, and I needed to attach my cut, or make sure my writing was on top of my little tag that I had created, and I just needed to arrange things. And then you have to actually attach them all together. I know it doesn't make sense right now, but it will when I actually do a project for this. So say we wanted to take this particular image and we didn't want to have the little smiley face. We can hit the contour option right here. Actually, we're going to do it on this one here. We're going to hit contour. And what you would do is just click the sections that you don't want it to show. And then when you just click anywhere, when it comes back, the little face disappears. So it has to be one, you can't do it on an image that's grouped together, but if you right click and hit ungroup or select ungroup over on this side, you can then pick the layer, hit the contour button, and select each of those sections that you don't want it to cut. All right, so you can also go back into contour and you can bring them back if you want to. Okay. So the next thing I want to show you is the edit button. The edit button is the section where you would change your different sizes. So say we wanted our little heart here to be 3.5 inches. You just type 3.50. It's going to automatically adjust the height. If I wanted to group these all together, I'm just going to go ahead and highlight them all. Go over to my layers button, hit group, and then I can select my size here and say I wanted this to be 6.5 inches. It's going to take everything and group that, or make that 6.5 inches, all of the pieces, all the different layers. There's also the option to rotate, so we can rotate by degree, or you can rotate just by clicking these little buttons on the side here, and that'll rotate it for you. We also have the option to do a mirror image, and then we also have the option to flip it upside down. And then again, this is the position where it is on the mat. So if I change this to 6.0, it's going to move it over to the 6-inch mark on my mat. All right, so the final thing I want to show you is how to make it so that all of your pieces, if you wanted to cut on one mat, how you can make it cut on one mat. So what you would do is just up in the top here, there's a little sync button, and what you do is you just drag your different layers up to each other. So we're just gonna drag them and drop them. So now they're all on one layer. They all show up as the same color, but that's okay. Once it sets up on the mat, then you'll be able to add your pattern paper, your cardstock, or whatever you plan on using for your project. So we're all ready to go. So we're just gonna go ahead and hit go. And that's gonna bring up the window for the mats. Now this particular one, now I have it all on one mat. What we can do before we start cutting is kind of move things around. So if you know where you want your pieces to be, you can go ahead and do that. So that's the positions that they will cut at. If there's more than one layer and you have it on separate pages, it'll give you mat numbers right here. You can select how many times do you want to make this project. So say we want to do this project twice, we can hit apply, and it's going to add all of the parts on here twice. So we're just going to go ahead and separate these out again because we want them in different sections when we cut. And then you can also select your mat size. So we can select the 12 by 12 or 12 by 24. And then when we're ready to go, you would just hit go. Now, if you had used any images that are not a part of your subscription or your library, it would have a little price here. Usually they're 99 cents, and it would tell you that you would be charged 99 cents. So then you hit go. Now, my machine's not on right now, but what it would do is it takes you through these steps. It says load, set, go. So your first thing after it waited for to connect to my Cricut, it would say load your paper, and you would just go over to your machine and hit the little double arrow, and it would load your mat. And then you would set your material. So if you're cutting vinyl, if you're cutting a lightweight pattern, like a pattern paper, which is a lightweight cardstock, or a heavier cardstock, you would just change the dial to that, and it automatically detects what pressure it needs to be at. And then you would just hit go on the machine, and it cuts out perfectly. So great machine. It works wonderful. I've had no problems so far with my Cricut Explore. So there you go, everybody. That is my quick basics for the Cricut design program, or design space program. You'll see future videos that have more detail on setting up a project from start to finish. If you have any questions, let me know, and I'll catch you guys all in the next video. Thanks for watching.